always find it amusing is, you look on one thing, oh, how much of this.
All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's call the Water and Light Commission meeting to order for June 3rd, 2026. Please call roll.
Commissioner Grindy?
Yes.
Commissioner Rapaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Quirk?
Yes.
Commissioner Riopel?
Yes.
Approved minutes from previous meeting, May 20th, 2026.
I'll move.
Second.
Please call roll.
Grindy?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
Bills and payroll.
I'll move.
Second.
Please call roll.
Grindy?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yep.
Riopel?
Yes.
Nothing from the public. Brady Martz, 2025 Water and Light Annual Comprehensive Annual Report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This morning we have Brian Opsahl from Brady Martz here with us to go over the Water and Light Annual Comprehensive Annual Report. Your Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, you will find, he might refer to it sometimes as an ACFR, just another little acronym to explain it. And so he'll do a quick overview and then answer any questions that you may have.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
I guess the plan this morning will be to go through things relatively quick like I have in prior years. Hopefully no red flags as you peruse through the report. Feel free to open it up for questions at any point in time. Otherwise, at the end of my presentation, I'll open up for questions as well. A couple things before we get started. No difficulties performing the audit. No disagreements with management. We certainly appreciate all the help that we get. There's a lot of things that we have to do, and it seems like there's more procedures now than ever before as far as asking for things, and we appreciate the help. One other thing, and I know I mentioned this in the past, but just because it keeps happening, if there's anybody that gets paid via electronic means, meaning ACH through your bank, employees, vendors, whatever, just be very careful if they have a request to change their account numbers or routing numbers. We've had a few instances where somebody has stolen somebody's email, asked for the change happened, but it was not to the right person. So just kind of a soapbox item there. It's very hard to get that money back, even if you do have insurance. Diving into the, we'll call it the ACFR, the first section of this report, as you can see, is the introductory section. Basically what this is put together by your management as some high-level oversight of what happened during the year. It does have some information as far as comparative, I think going back even 10 years, just kind of see the history with your rates, etc. And so it is a nice section to kind of see specifically to 2025 what happened, as well as how that compared to the prior years. Page 2, which is starting the financial section, is the beginning of our independent auditor's report, where we've issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, and that is considered a clean or a good opinion, that the financial statements are fairly stated in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, or GAAP. Keep in mind, it is management's responsibility for the footnotes and the financial statements that are in the book, and then our responsibility as auditors to ensure their accuracy, and that is what our opinion is stating. So considered a clean opinion, good report. Pages 5 through 9, this is management's discussion and analysis, similar to the introductory section, where we're going to have some comparative information for 2025 to 2024, and it does have some highlights as far as what happened to the year, and then references some of the footnotes in the financial statements. So the first audited financial statement starts on pages 10 and 11, and keep in mind this is combined, so you're going to see as we go through the book here, the further along we get, the more detail we get within each one of the programs. So you have both water and light that are broken down in the back, but at the front of the financial statements, they're combined together. If you look on the bottom of page 11, you're going to see the total net position within the department. And the overall net position is $50,184,453. The line that you see right above that unrestricted portion, would be basically what's not tied into your capital asset or infrastructure. So $24,986,003 would be your net position. Keep in mind there is a net pension liability within these financial statements, and I'm not sure exactly how much I've talked about this in the past, but because of your involvement in the state plan, PRA, there's I'll call it an accounting exercise where we put a number on your books, call it a liability, and it's really basically pointing out the fact that that plan is unfunded at the state level. And so if everybody retired today, there might be an issue, but it's not a liability that you actually owe. So that's actually decreasing the number on your net position, then there would be about $1 million for that. Page 12 then shows the changes within the current year financial statements. 3 lines to the bottom, you have an overall change of a positive $2,707,836, so positive change there, and that is after transfers out about $400,000 that roll into other funds within the city. So overall, a very positive change from the prior year. Then we get to the cash flow statement, which pages 13 and 14, and basically this is just showing your cash flow ins and outs, and keep in mind this can always be subject to some timing differences with, if you pay bills late, early, late, if you haven't requested money, etc. And you can see about 4 or 5 lines from the bottom on page 13, your overall increase of $3,330,718. So better even than your income statement. A lot of this is due to depreciation expense, which of course is non-cash. So a good year for the water and light department as far as financial numbers are concerned. The next section, pages 15 through 25, this is the footnotes to the financial statements. Lots of activities or information on your accounting policies, capital asset activity, that net pension liability I mentioned before. Typically don't go into much detail there at this point, but we can circle back if there's any questions. Pages 32 starts basically where we start breaking out the different funds. And so if you look on page 32, you're going to see we have a water column, an electric column, and a combined. So the combined is what you would have, or what I would have noted on the front of the financial statements. And then if you're looking for something specific here, you're going to see this breakout between pages 32 and 36. After that, then, page 38, for example, breaks out some different, different statistical information for the water fund. And so does have 3 years worth of data here. So just kind of a different way to look at things. A lot of people like graphs or comparisons because it does give you a better idea of where you were at to kind of tell how you got to this point. Page 41 then starts the same types of statistical information for the electric fund, and that kind of rounds out the financial statements. Lastly, there is pages 47 and 48. This would be basically the only compliance-related activity within this report. This is known as the Government Auditing Standards Letter, and this is designed to provide you with oversight of your internal controls and compliance within the laws and regulations. And this is a clean report. We have no issues or findings within your control system. We also do some testing over Minnesota Legal Compliance Guide. They provide us with things like pledge collateral testing, bid work, etc. We didn't have any issues or findings when we did that testing. So overall, pretty clean report. Makes my presentation a lot easier, so if there's any questions or concerns, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions?
No.
Very good job to all involved.
Appreciate
Great work.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, reports. No Todd.
Hung up in traffic again, I can see it.
Construction.
Yeah, click them up. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Just a couple real quick updates. Lead service line project. I had been in communication with Department of Health. We can go out for quotes on that project. They said essentially as long as you're following, Minnesota bidding requirements, we can do that. So I think that's probably the avenue we'll take, try to get it out to some, contractors that we know will bid it or give us quotes, I guess. And that'll kind of speed up the process too. Typically, you know, during the quoting process, we don't have to have it out there long just to get numbers. So that's kind of where we're at on that. And then on the kind of the VFW water main project, we did get numbers back late yesterday from, I guess, construction engineers that's doing like construction management for the arena projects. Everything seems to be kind of within budget. There's some questions we have that we're just going to get clarification on. So I think what I'll do is I'll prepare an RCA and then bring that back to the commission meeting on the 17th for, you know, consideration of award. But overall, things are looking good. So
Okay.
that's all I have.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Any questions for Steve?
No.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gallstad.
Good morning. Nothing really to report. I can just speak to the item later that regarding the recs, MMP recs. So, thank you.
Thank you. Old business, nothing. Utility Administrative Assistant Retirement Announcement.
Morning.
Morning, Todd.
After 21 years, Maren Staley has submitted her resignation letter to us on 6/1/2026. Maren's last day of employment will be 7/2/26. So my recommendation is to accept her resignation and instruct the civil service to begin the replacement hiring process. Looking for a motion on that.
I'll move. I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grandy,
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Quirk,
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Thank you. Declare Unit 735 as surplus.
735 is one of our old 2004 Ford water truck. Has 100 and some thousand miles on it, and 148,000. It's at its end of life there for us, so we'd like to put it in the city auction. We got all the numbers and everything off it, so looking for a recommendation to approve declaration of Unit 735 as a surplus property and authorize the sale through the city's auction process.
I'll move. Second.
Please call roll.
Grandy,
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Riepel.
Yes.
Thank you. MMPA WAPA rec contract.
So we have a sales agreement before you. Highlighted points are the agreement runs from January 2025 to December 2040, which it coincides with the renewable energy, what do you want to call them? You'd call them Minnesota energy requirements. So it tracks that. So by 2040, everybody's supposed to be 100% renewable. And so that's why we made the agreement go to that length. It also has in it potential for 2 5-year extensions if both parties agree. The recs that we will be selling to MMPA are about $69,000 to $71,000 a year, and they're agreeing to pay $3 per rec. If circumstances change, let's say that WAPA no longer allows us to sell, or the Minnesota energy requirements change and they no longer accept those recs, then the contract will be voided. Otherwise, I mean, to me, this is a win-win. It secures some money in the long term, and if they decide to extend out, say, the 2040 date, you know, I could see where the rec prices may go down, they may go up, but this way we were able to lock them in, and it's a sure funding process for us for the next 15 years, we hope. And so Ron did have a chance. I put on the RCA that it needed legal review, and thankfully he got at it real quick, and he provided a response that it looked good. So got anything else on that, Ron, that you'd like to add?
Realistically, the contract is pretty standard. The couple of things that I did note was, You know, typically I frown on some of the limitations on the liability for special damages, consequential damages. However, in this case, it was mutual. So both sides, a lot of times when they're drafted up, they're one-sided. So that was that was essentially favorable. The other thing that I typically frown upon is any jurisdiction other than the state court in Minnesota or Polk County. It makes some sense. They also included Minnesota U.S. District Court down in Minneapolis. The reason I say that makes some sense is WAPA is a federal program, and so it may make some sense there. The one thing that I did note was you're waiving a jury trial, which under these circumstances is if there was any dispute, is probably beneficial because you're going to have a judge that would be able to make that decision. Most of the jury members probably wouldn't have any idea what's going on with MMPA or the renewable energy, you know, so. But so all in all, it looks good. The one thing that I did modify on here, and Keith had kind of asked, was I also, besides Josh, you and Keith signing it, I have Reed and the mayor signing it. May or may not be necessary. You've never done it in the past. However, when I was looking through the underlying contracts, the WAPA contract is with the Water and Light. The MMPA contract is with the vice versa. But any one of them's with the Water and Light. One of them names the city, and so that there isn't any confusion, I figured I'd just have both the city and the Water and Light sign off on it, and then there isn't any dispute.
Yeah, and so it references the city of East Grand Forks in this agreement. And so like you said, the WAPA one also references city of East Grand Forks. So we thought it was appropriate to do that. So I would recommend that we approve this, and then if you approve this, then Brianna will draft an invoice and we'll get the process started. I would assume we'll have to wait for Reed's going to bring this to the work session on the 9th so that you guys can have a discussion, because these funds will go to the city, not to Water and Light, unless you don't agree with that. So
I'll move to proceed. I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy.
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
thanks.
Thank you. Department heads, Todd.
Got a call yesterday morning. We had a power pole that was hit on 5th Avenue Northeast. Came in at 6:41. Crews were called out. Pole had been hit, and that feeds the grain elevator there, so the wires were laying on the ground. We were able to, we had to kill the power. That also killed another, the cabinet shop over there, so they were out for a little while, but we did get everything back up in the air. They're going to refeed those wires, so they're going to go underground there. So the contractor started on it yesterday. We're hoping to get it switched over possibly Thursday was the plan. So that one was kind of a surprise in the morning, but working on that, so we'll get that one done. We'll have to have the cabinet shop out again for a while when we do the switch over. So once that's all done, we'll either cut those poles down, might put a guardrail in that area. We're pretty fortunate there. Transformer, junction box. It was
Big bomb.
yeah. And then we had a water leak on 2210 Sunnyside Court. That was on the main side. It was down on the bottom. The curb stop was leaking, so they had to put a little, well, it's on the main side of it, it was leaking. They had to put a little piece in there. It was kind of kinked out and had a little pinhole in it, so they got that fixed last Thursday. And we did get one more water meter installed, so we're down to 4. So Keith was able to help us out and persistent on that, so we're getting there. And then electric crews, we've been doing some switching for the WAPA allotment. Crystal Sugar should be they're done processing. Sunday was their last day of process, but they're still running. So their generator will go down on Thursday. So then we'll be adding load accordingly to keep within our numbers there. And then yesterday afternoon or morning, we started another water leak. We had one up on 2512 St. Andrews Drive. That was also on the main side of the curb stop. There was a small pinhole in the flare, and they were able to dig down, make that repair, add a little piece in there too. So we had electric secondary wire that was leaking out on the B&F switch. It was all chewed up by the gophers, so the guys replaced that. And then the water crews also had a hydrant that wasn't working on the north end fire hall. It broke down on the stem, so Josh and the crew took that apart, got that one fixed, and then he's been working on some valves and cleaning all those out, all that set up. So VFW job is moving closer. Spoke with the contractor. I think next week they'll be in there taking out the asphalt, so then we'll be in there rerouting our primary feed. And then we're doing our own water taps now up to 2-inch. So we had one last week on one of the new houses, 2501 Troon. So we're making those taps ourselves there. That's what's going on with that. So pretty eventful couple of weeks there. So other than that, that's all I have unless you have questions.
Any questions for Todd?
No. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, sir. Brian. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Last week, the Minnesota Department of Health was at the water plant, and they grabbed some investigative samples from the Red Lake River for testing. Also last week, our intern started. This has already proved to be a big help for us in just providing another body during the busy summer season, as well as covering for vacations. Keith and I attended the LAWA board meeting last Thursday in Fargo, and it was at this meeting that they introduced the new, or the first, executive director for the Red River Valley Water Supply Project. And then lastly, yesterday Ray and I met on a Zoom call with AE2S Engineering, and that was to discuss our risk and resiliency assessment, and that is part of the American Water Infrastructure Act. And that's all I have unless there's questions.
Any questions for Brian? No. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bree.
Good morning again. Just really quick, yeah, Brady, Martz, and their team, they're always really good to work with, and things seem to go really smoothly, even when they have new staff come on board to work on those. And then he did touch on ACH payments, and we actually have had that exact scenario happen where someone would email saying, hey, please now issue payment via ACH, but immediately I'm like, there's no way this is right. So went and got contact information from a source that I know is valid, and so I just called them, and they were like, yeah, absolutely not. Some are not good, some like you can clearly tell that they're bad, but some are really good. Some they maybe have like an R and an N that is in place of an M in the email, and as you read it quickly you don't maybe notice, or they change the special character to the one that kind of looks like an A or whatever, something like that in the email. And so those are things that happen. ACH payroll is another example that we get requests all the time via email saying, hey, I need my ACH payment for my payroll to be switched by next payroll. Please do this right away. And they send some information with some attachment. 99.999% of the time it is never valid. And so I always call and reach out to the people directly and figure out if that's actually a legit request or not. And like I said, usually it's not. So that's one thing that, yeah, we have to be very, very aware on. And I know Corey, I'm sure, appreciates all the things about not clicking on any other links or anything like that that come in different kind of scammer emails. So. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that. And unless you have anything else, we're busy doing more Tyler training, meeting with our project manager, and I'm sure Corey will touch maybe a little on that. But we're busy, so. unless there's any questions from me.
Any questions for Bree?
No.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Carla?
Good morning. I just want to thank Bree and her staff and all of the Water and Light staff, because her and her gang with the audit make my life much easier, and so thank you very much. And to all your other staff too. So we work really well together. She helps a lot with the city audit, which we're coming to put that all together. So I just want to thank all the staff for Water and Light. Thank you.
Thank you, and good job. Jordan? Yeah, he switched chairs. I thought he was gone.
So we had our cleanup week, so with those recycling rebates, quick update on that. We had 11 approved for this meeting, but I still have about 6 more that we're just waiting on paperwork. I reached out, gave them calls last Friday and Monday, because I had people who'd send the text but forget the form, so waiting on those. But yeah, I'd say a total of 16, so a little bit better than last spring. Spoke with Eagle Electric about a week ago. I finally got all the paperwork for the Mayo manufacturing lighting replacement, so that's going to be a pretty significant project, and just working on the kilowatt hours for that. So we'll have that for next meeting as well, working with a few other businesses on potential projects. So those are moving along. Working with Frontier on possibly some low-income spending for a duplex for window and door replacement. So just waiting to hear back on what's possible on our end from that. Looking ahead, be Tuesday the 16th. I have 2 reps from Frontier actually come to East Grand Forks. We have a meeting scheduled with Northland that morning, so we'll do a walkthrough, kind of look at everything they've done the last 2 years, and spoke with John in Parks as well about getting access to some of the arenas after that, just to kind of get started looking at some of those things as well. Any questions?
Any questions for Jordan?
No.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Corey?
Just quick update, the Tyler project is moving. Some not so good news is we may not be going live until the second quarter of 2027 on our core modules. Working with the Nets, mostly due to a Tyler resource issue. We are working with our project manager, though, on seeing what modules we could possibly start working on through 2026 here. There's some like content manager we may be able to get started on, and there's a there's like a fleet maintenance part 2 that we may be able to get started on in 2026 here, and then kind of do a reverse order of some of the things we were going to do. Other than that, it's been fairly business as usual, working with MMPA in a couple issues, and then yeah, just business as usual.
All right, any questions for Corey? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Keith?
So Todd sent a quick email to Steve. He's out sick today, and so
That's
he
acceptable.
wanted to apologize to you that he couldn't make it today. So, and then again, yeah, thanks to Brianna and staff. Good audit. Looks good. Everything, numbers look great. That's always good to hear. So, great job there. And then the only other thing that I have is the solar project. I'm not sure. Have they started up there? Does anybody know if they started drilling over at the school? Supposedly they were talking about maybe this first week in June they'd fire up. I'm not sure if they have or not, but we're awful close to being done with the 2 contracts. I know Todd was working on our contract with the school, and then there's a contract with MMPA that has with the school, and we just got that information I got it from Nels or MMPA yesterday, sent it off to the superintendent and then to Ziegler's, and so we're close on that front. And other than that, everything else was covered here, so that's all I have for you, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for Keith? Yep. Thank you, sir. Yep. Commissioner reports, anything?
Just like to extend my thank you for everyone for the work they did on the financial report as well, and a sincere thanks to Maren for all her years of service and everything that she's done.
Excellent. All right, motion to adjourn until June 17th, 2026.
I'll move.
Second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Any other problems, please bring them up with Mr. Gallstead.
Sounds fun.